All right, I'm going to go ahead and call tonight's meeting to order. It is September 4th, 2019 at 7 o'clock. Today, we'll go ahead and look at tonight's agenda. Anybody have any comments, changes?
No.
Nope. Good. All right, then I will go ahead and make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Second.
Pat with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, then on to library. We got carded campaign.
I believe Cindy explained this to you. I'm Sue Shield, and I'm secretary of the board. This is Sandy Millinder, she's also on the board, and we're both volunteers in the library along with Jan. And we came up with this idea about get carded at the library because September is library card month. So we thought, well, okay, we could take pictures of people, and it occurred to us that having pictures of the governing factor of Eden Valley would be wonderful. And it would be great for the kids to be able to walk past and see, oh, my goodness, look who's got a library card. And I'm fairly certain you guys aren't just going to be rushing into the library to see what we have, although we certainly invite you to see what we have because we have an amazing collection. But Sandy's going to hand out a library card application form, and we made it as easy as possible. So you fill out the form, you take your library card and you sign it, and then we'll dash back to the library and put it in our system.
Thank you.
And I might add, it's free. Still got yours in.
I do. I was just looking. I do.
Yeah, I can't locate mine right now.
342.
There you go.
Okay.
I'm just gonna take a group picture and you can just hold up your library card
Okay.
and just look to the top of the sheet there. And then we'll take back the forms and put them in our file.
Sure.
And while you're getting ready for your group shot, keep in mind that we have our fundraiser on Sunday the 15th, and we'd love to see you all there. And there's a lady here who's selling tickets. She can raise her hand. And we have a gentleman here who's the auctioneer, and he can raise his hand. Hopefully we'll see you there, and thanks for your help.
So just hold your card for me. Thank you for doing this. Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
It's somehow on this way, like the one way.
Oh,
You get to keep
yeah,
that.
yeah, perfect.
All right, well, thank you, guys.
Thank you. And in case you forgot the date.
All right.
It's our fundraiser. Well, you know.
I know that, yeah.
And you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Have a good night. Okay, all right, so then we'll move on to the next part of the meeting. I'll go ahead and ask for a motion to suspend the meeting.
I'll make a motion to suspend the meeting.
All right, I have a first
I'll second.
Troy with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, and then we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and move, I'll go ahead and make a motion to open the public hearing, consideration of amending section 92 and amending section 11.5. This would be involving the no smoking at city parks and playgrounds, allowing for consumption of alcohol at Fredericks Park, and a resolution directing summary publication. So, anybody have any discussion on? So just kind of give everybody just a quick summary of the different amendments that we're going to be putting in place. Is that the first one, the no smoking at city parks and playgrounds. We just wanted to make sure it had an updated use, updated on that for not allowing any tobacco use that includes smoking, chewing, snuffing, otherwise inhaling, ingesting any tobacco product. This also includes electronic devices, things that administer delivery of nicotine, whether it's through patch, through inhalation, through some type of what's commonly known as vaping. Just to to update the language on that to disallow that. The other one would be is that allowing the consumption of alcohol at Fredericks Park, realizing that the park has a nice picnic shelter that people from time to time would like to have different parties, different gatherings out there that may like to enjoy an adult beverage, to allow that. And then the last one is just a resolution to direct the summary publication so that we can get it onto the books. All right.
On the ordinance 2019-6, that's no smoking in city parks and playgrounds. That's no alcohol in other parks also. Is that correct?
Correct. The if you look at the language on 2019-7, we put in a section in there that there is no alcohol consumed at any of the public, I'm paraphrasing, at any of the public parks with the exception of Fredericks Park.
He was asking about 6 though.
Ordinance
Yeah.
6 is only about smoking.
Yep,
Yeah.
ordinance 6.
And tobacco.
7 is one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, sorry.
7 is the,
Yep.
All right, any other questions? Okay, and we'll go ahead and run right on down the list.
you have to close the public.
Oh, I do gotta close the public hearing? All right. If nobody has any further comments, no public comments, I'll go ahead and make a motion to close tonight's public hearing.
Make that motion.
Wow, guys are quick. Jan first, Pat second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, then we'll go ahead and move on to adoption. So I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve ordinance 2019-6, no smoking at city parks and playgrounds. Second,
I second that.
Jan with a second, all in favor?
Aye.
The next one, ordinance 2019-07, allowing consumption of alcohol at Fredericks Park. I have a motion, I made the motion myself, do I have a second?
Second.
Dan with a second, all in favor?
Aye.
And then just a resolution 2019-20, the resolution to direct the summary publication of the new amended ordinances.
Are you making the motion?
I'll make the motion again.
I'll second.
Pat with a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Quick, easy, and painless. All right, on to tonight's consent agenda. Anybody have any amendments, changes?
I have a change to or a correction to the minutes,
Okay.
from last month's minutes. It's in Cindy and I were talking about this, which is section 6 with the Eden Valley Fire Relief Association, the last line just needs to be fixed up a little bit. So Stephen stated that the board decided not to stay at 1550 and asked not for an increase, so Cindy's gonna clean that up a little bit for us.
Okay. All right. Any other corrections, questions? All right. With that being said, anybody like to make a motion?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
All right, I have Pat with a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Troy with a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, on to fire department.
So we are looking at having our open house again this year. We were looking at doing the bounce house again, which there's some insurance cautions that they gave us along with, we did a little bit of digging around with other cities, and one thing that we liked and what they do was fire truck rides for the kids. So we would like to propose that and are asking for your guys' approval on both of those things. This is the route that the rides would go on.
Thank you. Turn it the right way.
And I included in there the packet from the league on bounce houses and their recommendations on safety and what needs to happen there. And then from the league regarding insurance on bounce houses. There's no extra charge for the insurance for bounce houses. That's already covered. And then some recommendations on just being careful with giving kids rides, so that it isn't just the driver and 10 kids and, doing safety precautions for them.
It would be the driver, 4 kids or 4 kids and their guardians, and then we'd also have 1 fire department member in back making sure they're not messing around or unbuckling seatbelts and all that type of stuff.
This would be in the pumper, and they'd be in the
Yeah, the big pumper.
panel,
Yep.
in the back compartment?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, if the parent or guardian wants to sit in the front with the driver, they could do that too.
And are you're gonna have a driver, or are you gonna have any other any other firefighters riding on there to?
Yeah, the driver and then 1 person in back with the 3
Okay.
sitting down to make sure they're not horsing around or anything like that.
Walnut letters are not supposed to be pulling up.
Okay.
And it is enclosed, there's doors on all sides, so it's, if they're buckled in, they can't really fall out anyway, but with the doors, we're not worried about them falling out or anything like that, where some pumpers, they're open on the sides and.
Yeah.
They're not riding on top and stuff like that, it's in enclosed area. I have no problem with
I don't either. I don't have a
Yeah,
problem.
I don't see an issue either. Sounds like you guys did your due diligence, both you guys, on making sure that we're not forgetting something.
So all we really have in front of us is the road closure then, that we have to
Yeah.
approve?
Yeah.
I make a motion to approve the road closure for fire department for their open house.
All right, I have a motion to approve. I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right, we don't need to make a motion on the truck ride? No? Okay, all right.
I don't think so.
No. Well, then you're good to go.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Darren. Okay, on to boards, commissions, and reports. Well, since you're up.
So we had 1 application for a garage this month. Scott and Shannon Larson, they want to demolish their old garage and shed and construct a new garage. that was approved by Planning Commission. He did not have the garage far enough away from Highway 55. So we approved it based on him moving it to 20 feet instead of the 17 that was on the drawing. The drawing was corrected to 20 feet from, it's 25 feet from the sidewalk, but 20 feet from his property line.
And is agreeable to that?
Yep.
Okay. All right, anybody have any comments?
No, I don't.
No?
No.
Okay. Then I will go ahead and make a motion to approve the application for Scott and Shannon Larson to build a garage.
Second?
Dan with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. On to rental.
Rental, I don't really have an update for you, other than I'm trying to group a bunch of them together at one time to hopefully not have to come back and say next year or the following year that we need more money to do it. If I can group more of them together, that's why I don't have a report, because the last one is still current, then it just helps me with my office work, basically. To me, the office work is the longest time that I spend on it. So if I can group 10 of them together or whatever, it helps me out a lot. So that's,
Okay.
Darren and I had just chatted about, like, liquor license are all January 1st, or, you know, it's getting the rental license all at the same time, so that even if it's half one year and half the next year, we're getting them all at the same date. Will make
Yeah, that would
it
even-
easier for him to.
that would even be better than what I'm trying to currently do, yes, but.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
I think we knew there was gonna be a learning experience and a fine tuning experience when you took the job.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we want to, we want to make it where you can do your job effectively. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't see an issue with that at all.
Is there anything being done with, we call them blighted houses or houses that are,
It's on my list to do. I took some pictures of a couple of them, or 2 of them, or actually one of them. But it's, I'm gonna let that go until probably my slower season during the fall and winter, when I don't have a lot of new construction or people wanting to build stuff, so.
so the one I'm talking about is, you know, is animals going in and out of it, there's a couple broken windows in it,
Is that the one on State Street or Stearns?
state.
State, okay. Okay. Yep, it is on my radar, and it's gonna be addressed.
Anyway, gotta keep pushing on them because they're getting bad.
Okay.
Okay. All right, anything else for Darren? No? All right.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
sir. Okay, on to tonight's approval of the bills.
You forgot
We
the
need to
parks.
do
Oh,
Parks and
oh,
EDA.
yeah, okay, all right, I'm jumping ahead here. Sam, I'm going too fast for my own good. All right. Parks, any updates there, Dan?
The tarring was done, is it all done now, Jim? Both-
No, they
both
didn't make it
leagues?
today. I
Okay.
would assume this weekend, I'm thinking they're gonna finish final coat on the pickleball, basketball.
The trail is done.
Trails.
From the pickleball court up to the parking lot, tarred. Then one layer of on the pickleball court is down. Gonna do the second layer yet.
Okay, and is that second layer like a softer?
No.
Or just
It's the finish coat.
the finish coat,
Yeah.
kind of like on a, like street
Like on
paving?
a highway.
Okay. Okay.
And other than that, you got a chain link fence and things like that gotta go in it. One thing on the chain link fence, that's gonna be like a 10-foot high fence, Jim, is that right, or 8 foot, what was that? Whatever it was, that right now is coming out of the Fredericks Park fund or budget. I look at that as, that's a replacement, we're replacing the fence, not putting up a new one. Well, putting up a new one, but we're replacing one there. And my thought was that should or could come out of the general park account. And we got a different name for it, Cindy, or that,
Parkland Dedication Fund.
so that's money we set aside for parks, all the parks in the city. So that's my suggestion, that if we can look at that, take the money out of that general park account rather than taking it out of the Fredericks Park money. And that's about, what was that, $11,000, something like that?
We have, in the Parkland Fund, we took the playground out of there. This is the fund that would have been, Sunny Meadows had money that went in there years ago. Christine Mall's money went in there.
Okay.
And so we took the playground, 20,873 out of there. So there's a balance right now of 30,947. However, we need to have some money to install and where the playground is gonna go. We wanna have enough in that fund to dig and put the pea gravel in. And so looking at, if we put 10,000, so there probably is more than is necessary, but to leave that in, that still leaves 20,000 in there, so it certainly could cover the cost of this. The chain link was 11,265.
Okay.
So either way we're paying for it, it's just a matter of what funding comes out.
Yeah.
Correct. And what, that, if we take that money for that replacement fence out of the general park account, that frees up some more money out of the Fredericks Park account for doing other things in the park.
Well, if we can fund that out of the park dedication fund, that's what it's called, right? Okay. Then I don't see an issue with that.
And we're not depleting that fund by any means. The general,
Yeah, how much did you say the fence was?
11 something?
11,265.
So even with the 20, let's say we earmarked 10,000 for the installation of the playground, and at least 20,000 roughly left over, and that'd still leave us what, roughly about 8,000 for other miscellaneous things along the way.
Mhm.
So we're not draining.
Right.
I'd hate to see us drain the account. Like
No, we
have
don't wanna do
something there
that.
for if we need something here or
Right. And we're 3/4 of the way through the year,
yeah.
through that budget year, so.
Okay. All right. We need to make a motion on that? Okay, all right. You want to do the honors?
Okay, and through this whole thing, I talked to Jim also, just in case he had any upcoming expenses for parks and stuff, and he said no at this point, so. I'll make a motion to move, I'll pay for the replacement of the fence at the pickleball court out of the park dedication account, being as a replacement.
Okay,
So,
all right, I have a motion. Anybody with a second?
I'll second it.
Jan with the second. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, and then on to EDA.
Excuse me.
Oh.
Do you want to do EVC for P?
We could do that right now too.
Okay.
It's kind of, not with parks, but throughout the past few months, the Eden Valley Citizens for Progress, or EVC for P, has been talking about combining with the chamber. And I think you know about that, Brent.
Yeah.
And right now, my information is here, but right now we have about, we say 12,000 in there? Yeah, 12,145.70 that EVC for P has in their account. Some of that came from fundraisers and various things. And so we were looking at doing some more improvements in the event center. And one thing that's needed yet is the roll-up doors to close off the kitchen. There's 2 of them needed. It's been talked about for quite a while, just never put them in. So we had Cindy get some bids on that, and the 2 roll-up doors installed in event center kitchen area, be like the ones in the Fredericks Park. Excuse me. Comes to $5,630 for those 2 doors installed. We had a C4P board meeting prior to this meeting, and we decided to go with those doors to pay for those doors, get them installed, recommendation to the council. And then out of that 12,000, we would move 3,000 to the Fredericks Park, and then keep 3,000 for seed money or whatever when we combine with chamber.
Okay.
So that would use up that 12,145. Any questions on that or comments?
No? And this money was built up over the year through fundraisers and
Right.
different sponsored events.
This has been building for maybe the last 8 or 10 years since we started working on that building, and now with talking about combining the C4P and chamber,
Mhm.
we want to use some of that money for what we planned it for, and use some of it for seed money in the chamber and things like that.
What's
Okay.
the goal with merging with the?
Well, since I am still, for now, the chamber president, the thought behind that is the combining the resources. A lot of the same people are on the same boards, they're on the same commissions, and a lot of the fundamental charters of both organizations are the same. Betterment of the community, promotion of the community. So we sat down a few months back, the chamber leadership and Citizen for Progress leadership. We sat down and had a joint meeting where we did talk about that, and we both came to that time that we would relaunch a combined Chamber of Commerce with the Citizens for Progress and the Chamber together, and have an updated charter on that to still retain the promotion, the main things like with the Chamber of Commerce. You're trying to promote the businesses in town through community events, through things of that nature, and combine that with the Citizen for Progress part of it, of being able to use those events to promote the community by doing things like fundraisers, doing different events to raise money for like for the park project, or through another project that the chamber might want to be involved with. Kind of get the chamber and get the chamber and the Citizens for Progress merged together and push forward with more activism.
I guess the only concern is the right word for it, but C4P does a lot of good things, and I'd hate for it to get lost in the chamber. I don't know how active the Eden Valley Chamber is, but I know the C4P is very active.
Yeah, and
I'd hate for the mission of the C4P to get lost within the chamber.
And that was one of the I'm not going to say one of the big concerns, but that was one of the topics of discussion, is making sure that the good works that the Citizens for Progress has been doing doesn't get lost with what the chamber what the chamber does. I think there is a way that we there's a cohesiveness that the two can do together to do good on both sides. Comments?
No.
All right, so I'm just going to do this for just, I probably don't have to, but since I am the chamber president, in the motion of leaving money in the Citizens for Progress that would be combined when they merge with the chamber, I'm going to stay out of that one. just keep things above board. So, I'll let you guys, I'll take a step back and I'll let you guys run the rest for.
First, I'll make a motion to approve the door, the roll-up door installation,
Okay.
community center.
I'll just hold a second. Kind of what the C4P board talked about was keeping, out of the 12,145, is keeping 6,000 in, for the roll-up doors and stuff, just in case any extra things needed. And then move the rest to Fredericks Park and,
Okay.
so whatever motion you
Yeah.
want.
First, I'm gonna just start with the roll-up
Yep.
doors.
Yep.
We'll approve the roll-up doors.
I second that motion.
Okay.
All in favor? Aye.
I think maybe you can run that part.
All right, probably, all right, yeah, I probably could.
All
Yeah.
you need to do is
Just abstain.
abstain.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
With some mo- if
All right,
there's
I,
And,
all right, I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
And I will abstain.
Okay, and then I'll make a motion to move, out of the money that C4P has, move 3,000 to the Fredericks Park account.
All right, I have a motion.
I'll second.
Troy with a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I will be abstain on the last one.
That's just leaving the money there, right?
Yeah, we're just gonna leave the money
No, then
there.
we don't.
Leave the balance there.
Right.
I think we
When they
do.
merge, it won't,
It won't be there.
EVC4P won't be
When are they
here.
merging?
We have yet to pick a date on when that will actually, we just got the bylaw, the new bylaws updated, or new bylaws created. So that'll have to be ratified and then just picking a date of when we're gonna actually do the merger and then we're gonna try to coincide that with a kind of a relaunch event.
So you certainly could leave the three for now, and that when they get a date that they're gonna merge, because at that time, we'll need a motion to close this fund, this account, and at that time, you can make a motion to close it and transfer the remaining money to the,
I think that's what I'd like to do, is just hold off until you
Okay.
come up with a merger date. That way, if there's anything else that comes up between now and then, if
Okay.
it's still there.
That works. All right, anything else? Move on to the next one. On to the EDA. So last Monday, we did a business roundtable where I did, the EDA sponsored that. I graciously accepted to be kind of their keynote speaker for the night. And the objective of that meeting was to openly discuss with business owners in town what they're seeing in the business climate. What's their what kind of pain points are they hitting across? What would they like the city to where would they like the city to go? What do they feel that was short? We did have a very, very, actually really good discussion for the most of the meeting. And I did do a survey at the end of the meeting, and I don't have that survey in front of me here. Basically just asking the question, out of a list of different things where we had, workforce housing, mid-range housing, upper housing, expansion of our industrial park, redevelopment of our commercial districts. Just basically asked them, pick your top three in order. And it came out that the top one was industrial, expansion of the industrial. Followed right behind that with workforce housing and, workforce housing and mid-range housing came in tied for second. And then third came in at transitional housing, which would be that 55 and older into more of like an assisted living care. So those ended up being the top three, which I'll be honest, I was not surprised that, you know, I kind of had a feeling that that's what, you know, the business community would be, you know, would be looking at, but, you know, it kind of just helped reaffirm, you know, a lot of the discussions that we were having on the EDA side. So with that information now, we're going to talk, and we're going to, as an EDA, we're going to come up with a definitive strategy of how do we, you know, moving forward with those, you know, those ideas. We do have conversations going on with a couple of developers as far as like rentals, so rentals. And also with another outfit that does kind of mid-range housing. So kind of ended up being nice timing with in that regard. So we'll be definitely putting a strategy in place to move forward.
I think the meeting that was put on was a very good meeting, a lot of good input, like you were saying, but I think a couple comments came back that, now let's do something with this.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it going. And that's where EDA and the council has to keep things moving, going forward.
Yeah, so what we have here now is we do have a supplemental EDA meeting on the books for is it the 23rd, right? Okay. For the 23rd, where we're going to sit down, we're going to go discuss with, you know, the comments from the meeting, taking a look at the survey results, and yeah, just you know, get that strategy developed and you know, start bubbling that up and start moving forward. You know, now's the time.
Keep the momentum moving.
Yep. All right. Any questions on the EDA? Jan, I know you brought the newspaper in.
Yeah, I just picked up the mail and the news, the Voice really had a good article on what was said, so.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that this week was a box hold, you know, one that went out to everybody too. So yeah, that was good timing on that.
Definitely, yep.
So, all right. Let's see, ready to move on? Go on to approval of the bills. Everybody had a chance to take a look at the bills?
Make a motion to pay the bills except for Teal and Machine.
I have a motion to approve the bills except for Teal and Machine. I'll go ahead and second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to pay Teal and Machine.
I have a motion to pay Teal and Machine.
I'll
So-
second.
okay.
Go ahead, John.
I'll second.
give it Jan for the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain?
Dan with the abstention. All right, on to public forum. Nobody in the gallery, so we'll go ahead and move on to the individual departments. So on to Cindy. We got a little bit of feedback going on.
It's you.
Is it me?
I thought it was mine.
It's Jan.
It's Jan.
It's Jan. I thought it was you, because you're doing the walking and talking.
And
That's
that's
what it's-
awesome.
I think it's multiple mics picking up. All right.
Sorry.
All right, we'll just fight through it. All right. So what you got for us, Cindy?
You should have in front of you the financial report. And it gives you the breakdown of both cash and the investments and the 4M fund. And as of August 31st, we have counting cash in both investment accounts, we have $2,189,255 in the funds. And if nothing, no comments, questions on that. I also included the school sign. They have, you know, you got the robotics one and you approved that one. They have since changed their mind And they would like to do 2 signs in the same space. One is the robotics and one is the FFA champion. The coloring will be the same. I think they were blue with white writing.
Is there enough space on that sign for both of these signs?
They have to fit both signs into that same space, so the other sign is gonna become smaller, and so these 2 will both be there. I asked them, you had asked why they don't put them with all the other stuff. They said there just is not space, so I encouraged them to maybe, make room, but that they might wanna create a larger space to have, cause they have a lot of stuff going on. And obviously a lot of awards and a lot of champions that are of a whole variety.
So this is just going on one sign?
It'll
Or is it
be,
going on all the signs coming in?
no, it's just that one, on
And
55,
remind me
it's a
which-
speed sign.
Which sign is it, the one that way or that way?
I have to think, the speed.
What
sign
sign
of
is
the
these
signs.
going on?
They're going
The west sign?
west and south stuff.
Oh, both west and south?
There's only one. so
Oh, it's only
55.
one is what, 55 is
Yeah.
what they're asking.
Yes, on Highway 55.
Yeah.
And the Lion, I think Lions Park sign is on there right now, and that'll stay.
Okay. MnDOT was okay with that same, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, they were okay with the signs that are on there.
Okay.
And they won't let something go on there that doesn't fit the space, now that they're aware of how much space is actually there.
All right. Pat, any issues you see? No?
No, I guess as long as the state's okay with it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Do you need a motion on that? No? Just an agreement?
No,
Sign?
just do that.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
fine. I think that's it for me.
Okay. Anybody have anything for Cindy?
Nope.
Okay, all right. Then we will go ahead and move on to Jim.
Got an agreement from Stearns County if we so select to get into it, which we should, due to if we do have any storm damage or anything like that here. Like Watkins had a few years back. Well, they're lucky they're all in one county, and we're divided here. It's a Stearns Inter-County Mutual Aid Agreement for Emergency Management and Homeland Security, which would cover any portion of emergency services from that county to help us out. Public health, medical, search rescue.
Didn't we have this before
Yes.
with,
I can't remember the Stearns side of it.
I thought we did, but.
I'm almost positive
Yeah.
we have it, or had it before, but it's time to update it again and re-sign it.
Hmm.
And through all the parties involved, that we get this sent back. So I highly recommend we do it. And
Is this, you know, we have, since we're in multiple counties, we've got to have an agreement like this with both counties in order to.
Arden knows as well as I do. Meeker pretty much stopped it.
Yeah,
They
I
will
said
come
this
in and
to-
assist, don't get me wrong.
I just talked to Stephanie, she's the emergency management director for Meeker, and we just had this conversation about a month ago, actually. When Jim's impending retirement somewhere down the road, we might want to enter some discussions and see how we're gonna handle that with, because he's technically emergency management director. Should probably start talking about some of this, figure out which way we wanna go. If you want emergency management director, if you want Meeker to be our director, I mean, some things we need to talk about. We could probably talk about one of our workshops too.
But this is Stearns County.
Yeah, this is specific for Stearns. Okay.
And Meeker has a mutual aid agreement with their two, that at some point they'll send that to us, so we can have both. Have
Okay.
signed for both.
Okay.
And that's whether we have an emergency management director or not. If our fire chief is, you know, something happens and he says, we need other kinds of services, call them, then, you know, whoever he directs to do that, we have that agreement and they can do that. So it isn't just emergency.
We've had this through the fire
Yeah.
department. This here's reaching out, I think, a little farther than what
Yes.
I've seen before.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Well, would you be terribly offended if I tabled this until our workshop, so I had a chance to take a look at this a little bit deeper? Okay. On the surface, I don't see an issue, but I just like to read it.
It's peace of mind for any service here in the city when something does happen, that we know we got help that will be on the way.
Anybody else have an issue with tabling it till? Okay. All right, well then we'll go ahead and add that to our next workshop, Cindy. All right. And then, since Ernie let the cat out of the bag before I was able to say anything, I did want to kind of let everybody know that Jim had tendered his announcement to retire in the early parts of 2020. I would like to take an opportunity to take some time, Jim, to say the city can't thank you enough for the 25 years that you've put in. I always hear nothing but good things about the Public Works Department under your direction. Just the fact that, you know, you're there, you go above and beyond, and just the overwhelming sense that whenever we had a question, we knew that you would be able to get the answer for us, and just being able to keep the water flowing, the toilets flushing, the streets
Yeah.
plowed.
2 out of 3 in bed.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 in bed.
Thank you for that.
So-
It's been fun.
Yeah.
It's been enjoyable. Get the PR is a good thing. Every day can be a different day. It always is. But
So.
yeah, it's time. So we thank you for having me all these years.
Absolutely. Right. Anybody else?
Okay, move on.
Anybody else want any parting shots at Jim?
Nope.
Nope,
Not-
not right
not
now.
yet.
Not yet? Not yet? All right.
That's too early. Just leaving you know, well number 3, a motor went down in that well when we were using it at the beginning of last month. It's being repaired, it's not back yet. We started pumping pond number 4, sewer pond number 4 over. That only goes so low, and then we have to pump the rest over into the other ponds so we can get everything down. It's our final phase of the year that we get on track for fall, that it's all set for over the winter, the next 6 months of cold for irrigating. We've had bituminous put down in 3, or we're gonna have 4 spots done in town that Mid-Minnesota will be finishing that one. One more spot along with the pickleball court when they come to town next. Yes, we will be getting down by you to fix that storm sewer structure. Just not in the immediate plans, or month yet, but it will be done, because that's getting ugly.
Sinking more.
Yes, it is. Kent probably has this. I see the slab jacking has started on Main Street. They were in town last Sunday. I do not know how far they got.
Just in front of
Valley Inn?
Valley Inn.
Okay. I've heard that's where they were at.
I'd seen them, they were also in front of the library there too.
Oh, I think all the way down to
All the way
Tom's
down,
Carpet.
down from the library all the way down to Tom's Carpet.
Okay, tell me that, okay.
Yeah. I have to admit, it looks nice.
Yeah, it works well.
Yeah. And I've seen the guys
It
out
looks
there.
better.
It looks better.
Hopefully it stays.
Yeah. Is there any concern with, you know, that resettling? I suppose there's always a little bit of concern with that, huh?
You want to dig into that here?
Well, yeah, let's,
These with
well,
work together.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
sure, why not?
To answer your question, I don't think that's a concern.
Okay.
It's pretty flowable grout that they pump in there. And they're hitting the colored strip and that gray strip too, so they really should be filling the voids in there as best as you can with that kind of procedure. I don't know how else you do it.
Well, no, I'm,
Been
I,
making
don't
my
get me wrong,
brain
I think it's a dramatic improvement
Yeah.
compared to what it was.
Yep, I agree. So,
I
that's
did that
it.
in the floor of my shop, one spot, 9 years ago, no problem.
Good,
It held it.
good.
Yeah. So you should see the first contractor that was down by Jack's, the first test strip we did, we asked them to come in and finish the rest of it, and they're planning to do that and kind of wrap it up over the weekends, moving forward here. I think they were planning to be here this past week, this past Sunday.
They were here.
They were, okay,
Yes.
yeah, okay. I'm still getting up to speed from missing most of August, but you'll see them in the coming weekends,
Okay.
to wrap that up. Anything else on that part? Okay.
No?
Jim, did you have anything else? Otherwise I can dive into my stuff.
We're a tag team, so go ahead.
Okay.
I started the precedent, so I might as well listen.
I guess the stuff I have is regarding the 2018 project. Don't have a pre-request tonight. There really hasn't been any work done over the past month or so. The work on the project is basically done. We still have just a few issues with the service liners that need to be addressed. We've been talking with that contractor about getting in here and getting that stuff fixed up. So they're hoping to get that done in the very near future here. There are some spots where we need to touch up some topsoil seed. That's pretty common on a construction project. Otherwise, they've got the punch list pretty much completed. The majority of the stuff we want to accomplish tonight is scheduling the final assessment hearing. So you should have 2 resolutions in front of you. The first one we want to talk about is the resolution declaring costs to be assessed and ordering preparation of the final assessment. So what that does, the top paragraph basically describes the project area, and you can pretty much skip all that stuff until you get down to the dollar signs at the end of the paragraph. So we're projecting out what the final contract amount for the construction portion of the project to be $1,099,556.21. And expenses incurred to make that improvement includes engineering, construction, testing, financing costs. There's some legal and publishing costs in there as well, that kind of stuff. And that's $374, $172, and $27. So you add those 2 together, total project cost is $1,473,728.48. And then from that amount, we go back and reevaluate how the assessment rates are calculated based on the actual construction costs of the project. The project overall is tracking to come in under the bid amount. So as a result, the assessment rates go down a little bit too, because it's all kind of tracking along under budget. So out of that 1.47 million, the city's portion down in paragraph number 1 there is 1.397, $658,079, and the amount that will be assessed to the abutting property owners, and this just applies to the downtown area here, is $69.69. And then we move on to paragraph 2, where the council gets to determine what the repayment period of the assessments will be and the interest rate. Just for reference, the Highway 22 project was repaid over a 20-year span. Cindy, I forgot what I sent you. Was it 5.6%, I think?
Yeah.
On that one. And the previous project before that was 2009, Emily, Jeannie, and Brooks on the southeast corner of town. And I think that was 15 years. I don't recall the interest rate, 6. I believe it's 6%. from there. We can come back to the term and the interest rate, but, and we'll go through this at the final assessment hearing too, but we did go ahead and prepare that final assessment roll. You should have a copy of that, yep. So the yellow column is the final assessment rate, or final assessment amounts per each parcel, and on the far right-hand side, we are showing you what the original estimated assessments were. So you can see they've gone down 100, 200, give or take on most of the parcels. The larger frontage parcels went down more than that, but there aren't too many of those.
Street, water and sewer, comments?
I like we're under budget.
Yeah.
That's always a good thing.
It's always a good thing, yes, sir.
How do we come up with the period and percentage? How have we done that in the past?
That was-
Some kind
that
of
was-
calculation somewhere that we figure that out, or we just
Us-
pull our,
Sorry, go ahead.
go ahead.
I was gonna say, usually what I've seen done, and I think historically at the city, is if you're borrowing money at 4%, maybe your interest rate on the assessment repayment is 5%, then you're covering your internal city costs to manage the paperwork of
Sure.
people paying it off and so on, because it's a time commitment at the city level. The loans that you got through PFA, I believe, were 1 1/4. I would have to double check that. I don't have that number handy.
That sounds about right, but
It's less than 2, I know
Yeah.
that for a fact. I wanna say 1 1/4, it might be 1 1/2. Shoot. I don't have any of that paper with me that would tell me either.
I suppose in the amount of years, depends on how long the PFA loan is for.
Mm-hmm. And those,
And the micro loan was 4%,
yes,
4% was the micro loan.
yep.
So which of those loans was bigger, the micro loan or the PFA?
Micro loan.
The
was
micro-
larger.
The microphone's a lot bigger.
Percentage wise.
The rates,
No, no,
yes.
as far as
The
the.
amount.
Oh, the dollar
PFA.
amount? The
PFA
PFA,
was-
definitely, yeah.
Yeah, the micro loan, I think, was 80,000. It was less than 100, I believe.
145,
Oh, it was,
Pretty
okay,
good.
okay.
Pretty minuscule in the grand scheme of things.
700 or 800, yeah.
Yeah, PFA funding was these are round numbers, 173,000 low interest loan on the drinking water, and also 692,000 in grant from the drinking water revolving fund, and about 800,000 on the clean water. So it's water and sewer are the two different funds there. And both of, so total loan is about 973,000 at, let's assume a little high, 1.5%.
So we're gonna go off the PFA percentage rate and not the micro loan percentage rate.
You can, obviously, you can do it either way. You've got a 5% and a 6%. That might be a little high, where you could set it at a 3-year.
Yeah, this thing that came was kind of split the difference.
Yeah.
Kind of do like 3.
Yeah. Go with that. As long as it's,
You're probably in the ballpark for like a weighted average there, I
Yeah.
would think, yeah.
Yeah, so,
then how long was the PFA loan for, 20?
I believe that's the case, yeah.
yeah. So then we'd probably want to do 20-year period on that,
At a 4% or a 3%?
at 3%, yeah. Does that sound, you're crunching numbers in your head, Troy?
I am.
Does that
I don't think that 3, I hate to be the bearer, I think like 3.5. Kind of actually what I'm thinking. in all reality.
Yeah.
I hate to do that, but I think realistically, that's the number we should.
That's if they don't pay it up front, right?
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah, if they pay it by November
Yes.
30th, they can come in and pay it, and that would be their, on the yellow, they would pay their final assessment amount.
Yep, I can elaborate on that a little bit. On the next resolution, we talk about having the final assessment hearing.
Yeah.
Assuming everything goes as planned and the council adopts the final assessment roll that night, from that day, everybody on the assessment roll has 30 days to come in and pay it off in full with 0%, no interest added to that amount. And they can pay it off moving forward in the future at any given time, as long as they do it before November 15th
Of the next year.
of any year. If they wait until after, then the next year's interest comes back to that payoff amount. That's state statute, that's how it reads. It's not city policy or anything like that. It's just state statute.
Like,
So they could pay it off anytime. Whatever's the remaining plus the interest for that year moving forward.
going back to you, Troy. You were talking about doing 3.5. I'm just curious, what's your thoughts on?
Well, I'm just looking at, I don't think in the long term, like you're saying with your expenses, I think over time, that keeps getting, there's a lot of stuff that goes involved with it. And I think that's where I don't want to go, 4% I think is a little too much. 3% kind of covers us on that, but you need that half to kind of for the clerical side, and in my opinion, is kind of where I'm going with that. That's why I hate to go high, but we got to make sure we cover our expenses also. And not stick it to the people. That's my biggest concern.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't want to do that, but we have to also make sure we're covered. And I think that 3.5 is kind of at 20 would be the better rate,
Yep.
in my opinion. I mean, if I'm wrong, I just want to make sure we're covered, and that 20 years is a long time, you know, and that's where that comes. And that's the thing, we got to make sure, you know, we stay in the green and not go to that red level.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But, I mean, I'm open for discussion if that's,
Yeah, what really kind of complicates it is that, we got that 4% micro loan out there.
yeah, then that's kind of where you're going.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thoughts for everybody else?
No, I'm good with 3.5%.
3.5?
It's still
Okay.
plenty cheap. It's cheaper.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
cheaper at market,
Mhm.
so. Okay, all right, then, let's put that at 3.5% then. 3.5%, and I think I heard that we're in agreement for 20 years, the length of the PFA loan. All right. Okay, and then okay, so if we're just up to adopting the resolutions, can we go ahead and, do we have to adopt this one tonight too, along with the?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I just seen that you didn't have a number on there. So,
Right.
You want to do that first one we just talked about first?
yeah, the cost to be assessed,
Correct.
yeah,
And we'll
okay.
assign that 22.
22? All right. All right, so on resolution 2019-22, the resolution declaring costs to be assessed and ordering preparation of proposed assessment. This would start the process for the final assessment for the next resolution on the hearing. All right, any further discussion?
No, I don't have any.
Okay, all right, then I will go ahead and make a motion to adopt resolution 2019-22. Do I have a second?
I second that motion.
Jan with a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. And then, anybody have any questions on the final assessment roll for Kent?
No.
Nope, okay. And then we'll move over to the resolution for hearing on proposed assessment. Looks like the date right now would be held at 7 o'clock on October 2nd, 2019, located here at City Hall, to review, open hearing, and pass the proposed assessment. All affected property owners will be invited to participate in the hearing. So, any further discussion?
Nope.
All right, then I will go ahead and make a motion to approve the resolution for hearing on the proposed assessment. That's a mouthful. All right,
I'll second.
got Troy with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right. What else you got for us, Kent?
That is all, unless you have anything for me.
Not at this time.
I'll pass
At
the
least I don't.
baton back to Jim then. Are you, I'm done?
This past week, we had our annual lift station checks. All three of them were gone through and checked out, and actually got an A+ on them. They're doing very well. And it's really pays to keep your head on that stuff and keep your tenure. They do a tenure that you go through everything. So it's, they always want less. I said 10 years is enough, early enough, and it's been working out, so. Tree trimming, we've started, haven't gotten any farther with it. We got done around the school as much as we could before school started. That was a mess there. And I'm surprised I didn't hear anything from Dan and his wife walking down the hill, because that one messes your hair up.
I know you can get around to it, so
Yeah, we're coming.
leave it go for a while yet.
It doesn't touch your dog yet, so we're.
No.
So, but we're into that. Other than that, I got nothing else unless you have something for me.
Yeah, thanks for putting gravel on my,
Oh, yes. And I'm sorry, I forgot that. I didn't write it down the first time.
and with the rain, it doesn't puddle anymore, so I appreciate it.
It's an alley.
You heard any more in that ditch by Dollar General? What's happening there? Are they,
I put a question to Cindy, and I don't know if she got anywhere with it, or.
I sent both of them, how's it going? What's happening and what's the next step, and I have not gotten a response from either one.
He put his report in. I mean, that's what he was here, took all kinds of pictures and put his report in. That's the last we've seen or heard of anybody.
be nice to get it resolved before winter, otherwise you're gonna have the same problem
I've
next spring.
also asked the landowners who own the land back there, because of all that water, it's down now. What has changed? Is there trees knocked over? Is there a beaver in there? Or, I said, I don't know that land. That's your private property. I didn't get no answer back from anybody, so I hate to go back there and it's not ours to
It's
deal
private
with. It's all
property.
private to
Yeah.
begin with. We're just intervening to help out here. So that's, yeah, sorry, no answer.
I will call before the next meeting, so at least then I can have a voice, not telling me anything or telling me something.
Thank you.
Rather than just doing
Question for Jim, going back to the tree trimming and that stuff, is there, for us landowners that have trees that are close to sidewalks and stuff and
Yeah.
kind of going over, is there like a rule of thumb, like how high should you trim them up?
Well, it's like
Yeah.
street signs that should be 7.5, 8 feet.
Okay.
Is nicest, because you come through with your lawn tractor or snow blower, each one is definitely a different height, if you got a cab on it, it'll make a
Yeah.
difference. But it's nice to keep it that 8 feet area would be real nice, because then you're not coming back immediately to trim it again. And I usually go at the source, not the trunk, but I get it back there quite a ways, so
Yeah.
we don't have to worry about it immediately. But we also try and keep the tree looking uniform when we do cut.
I'm just looking out for us proactive
No, I was
homeowners
looking
that,
up, I was looking up your way.
yeah, I kind of figured.
but we got other areas that need. We'll
Okay.
get at them.
So residents can trim a tree that's in their yard is what you're
Yeah.
asking.
But yeah, just looking at like, okay, what would be the, you know,
Yeah.
In this
where
past
they wouldn't
week,
come
I've
up.
seen at least 3 or 4 residents doing their own yard, which does come out into the boulevard or into the sidewalks, and they've been doing great.
Okay.
I'd just soon have them do it, so we don't get hollered at, but everybody's been very good, so.
All right.
How about lawn mowing?
I'm way behind on that, I noticed you're,
It's only pushing a foot tall
yes,
next to me
I
there.
know.
Else you were talking about, Eric?
Yeah, there's a few others in town that need. I think they think it's that time of year, you don't need to mow anymore, but, that stuff's really growing yet. A little rain this year.
Mowed 3 times this year, so it's,
Is that all?
you know how many other people mowed once a week, you know, this,
Well, I've hollered at a few and they really got on it, but I've noticed that's gone away now
Right.
too again. Okay, thanks.
All right. Anybody got anything else for Jim? Okay, all right. On to Ernie.
All right, you got the monthly report for August 2019. You see August was up a little bit. Any questions on the monthly report? We will be ordering a new portable radio. Went through the budget, met with Cindy on my budget stuff, and we got some money in some forfeiture funds and some small equipment stuff where they pursued pretty good, so we're gonna order a new radio. The life expectancy on our portables is coming to an end. We're starting to have issues with them. The mic cords aren't connecting right and they won't key up, so you gotta get rid of the mic completely. That's one, and now it just went towards making noise. I haven't took it in yet, so I don't know if it completely went dead. So we're gonna order a new radio, but it's in the budget, we're all good, so no issues with that, so I'd keep you aware on that. It is back to school, the kids have started school yesterday, so everybody out there, stop arm violations are not an option, they're mandatory to stop. Watch for the kids at the bus stops, pay attention to some of that, kids are out and about in the mornings now and after school, so be mindful of that. We're doing the home football games now. The PD took that over. Last year the county did it. The school requests an officer to be at the game, the entire game. So we actually are handling that this year. Pete's covering the majority of them, and I think I'm taking 2 of them. So there'll be an officer at the games for the entire length of the game. The school wants that for safety reasons. They are paying us for that, so that's not any additional cost to the city. And I'll build that out at the end of the year. So should be fine on that. As far as the open house Darren talked about, on the 5th of October, that's a total EMS open house. So he invites Meeker County, we'll be there, fire department, rescue squad, Watkins ambulance. I think he pretty much invites the gauntlet, it all depends who shows up, if they got time, so.
Lifelink if they're available.
What's that?
Lifelink if they're available.
Lifelink, which is usually tough to get, I mean, they're pretty busy, but they invite everybody. So that's a total EMS deal, which is really good. Last year was kind of our first year doing it, and it went really, really well, so I think we had a great turnout. I think we're doing some more fun stuff this year, so it should be good. In reference to, we talked about that State Street house up there up north. We had a call up there, that Saturday, I believe, Friday or Saturday, and a couple officers were in that house. It is bad. So I don't know if that falls on Darren's shoulders, because I don't know, technically it's really not a rental.
it's
But,
just a vacant house.
so, you know, it might be something more that maybe Cindy or somebody makes contact with the city attorney to find out to expedite that a little bit, or, because it's bad. It needs to, something needs to happen. The owner was there. The impression I got, she has no intention of doing anything with it. That's pretty much, it's too far down the other way. So it's gonna continue to get worse, worse and worse. You know, you got animals living in it now.
The foundation's getting so bad,
animals can walk in and out of it any place and,
We've got squatters in there the way it looks,
yeah.
that we didn't know about, so they did a good job concealing that, which is not against the law, by the way, if the owner don't care, I mean, we can't enforce that, but that poses a problem in the neighborhood, for numerous reasons. So I guess my thought was, I just wanna bring that up, I just thought maybe that's something maybe we should move forward with, you should move forward as a council, maybe trying to figure out which direction we can go to expedite that, get it moving. Maybe she wants to put it on the market, sell it, whatever, maybe send out a letter saying, what do you plan on doing here? Something, so. Cause it's bad.
Is somebody, we can, it's somebody to, somehow to condemn it or something, or, I don't know how that all,
I know it's a long process, and Cindy probably knows more than I do on that, I mean, we've dealt with, and I know it was a long process when you go and try to get rid of.
but it's
a
gotta get
problem.
started sometime.
You gotta start somewhere, cause it's gonna take some time,
And
unless she actually puts it on the market and sells it, and I think maybe somebody would buy it, and if the price is right, get rid of it and have an open lot or build a new house there, but that house is pretty well done.
I mean, I know Darren had started talking to the city attorney about the process of condemning it, I thought. I think you did, yeah. Yeah, he
I
was,
certainly can, the first step is we need to send a letter, so
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Send a letter to
And
the-
it sounds like he was pretty busy, and that's why I'm bringing it up. Mr. Mayor, is this, I'm
Yeah.
like, he's talking about maybe not getting it till later, maybe next spring, and I'm like, after being in the house now, that the reports I got from the house, we probably need to have somebody send a letter and maybe start moving forward on it. So, that was my idea.
I certainly can talk to Darren and then, you know, I can let him do that.
I don't know if that falls under rental inspector
No.
or ordinance.
I
He's
was-
not
Or
a
site permit,
Yeah.
right.
He's,
He's
yeah,
a
he's
site
not an
permit.
ordinance enforcer.
Right.
We are.
yeah. Well, yeah, let's at least get the letter going, and in the meantime, we can start gearing up for it.
Just, the other one's not in that bad a shape. That's probably the worst house right now. in the
You're
city.
talking about the one over there by the school?
Yeah,
I don't know, that one's,
that was pretty,
it's,
wow.
it's getting there.
That one's bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, something to think about, you know, maybe have,
There's
maybe
a
have
stucco one there.
Clerk
on-
Anderson send out some letters, maybe
Meeker
just to
Stearns.
try to move on it.
Just east of the high school?
Just, no, well.
It's right on Meeker Stearns, right?
It's on, it's north,
Oh,
yeah, just, it's a stucco house.
Well, I think I know which one.
Yeah, used to be a rental there for a while.
Yeah.
And it's set, I know it's set, and it was actually on Darren's rental list, and it's been sitting vacant for longer than I've been sitting in this chair.
If it's vacant, then it's not a rental property,
Yeah.
so I'll talk to Darren on both of those. I'll talk to Ernie too and just get some specifics on which police officers were there. Because there is a component, if it's not safe for emergency personnel, there's other steps that we can do.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
send the first letter and talk to Adam.
The one on State Street has not been rented since 12, I think, 2012. And there's windows out of it and shingles off the roof, and it's bad.
Doors fall off.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Okay. All right, anybody got anything for Ernie?
Mm.
All right. On to, anybody else have any items of business?
I attended the Friends of Meeker Trails meeting on the 30th. We're just starting to get a committee together to find, for the Meeker County anyway. We have a 20-year plan that has been brought forward, and I do believe that somebody from this committee will come up and talk to the council about it. It's also tied in with the safe routes to school plan. It's really an interesting group. If anybody's interested in the trails, you can go to our website, www.meekerstrails.org. You can like that page, and then you'll get all the information about the trails in Meeker County. I can't believe how many trails we do have, especially in the southern part of the county, but we're looking to expand it to the northern part, so. It was a good meeting.
Okay. Good stuff. Anybody have anything else? Okay. All right, moving on to upcoming meetings. Our next 3 meetings we've got contract negotiations on September 11th at 7:30 PM. I believe you've told me that
I'll be out both September meetings. I
both
will not
September
be-
meetings, okay. We moved it back a half hour. Is it still gonna be, I know it's pushing it, but
Make it work.
okay. All right, and then we've got a budget workshop on September 18th. That's where we're going through Ernie's budget, fire rescue, and some of the smaller departments. And then our next council meeting is October 2nd. And that's it.
That budget meeting is when you want to set your preliminary
Oh, yep.
budget.
Yeah.
We'll either set it that or you'll have to do another meeting a week after, so.
Yeah.
Because we have to get it done by the end of September.
Yeah, because we got to get that in by the 31st, right?
30th.
30th.
Yep.
All right. All right, then with that being, that being said, I'll go ahead and make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Pat with second, all in favor?
Aye.